So if you feel like the world is kind of shaking all over the place, but you feel like you want to contribute to the world, then this is your place. There's a ton of us out here, we just don't connect, who are determined to be voice of reason. We want to be light in the darkness. We are absolutely optimizing our state of mind, state of heart, spiritual state of being in order to be fully fledged helpers during this chaotic time. And so if this is you, just hear me out, okay? I'll try to keep this presentation. I have a little presentation here, and it's not selling you anything, just on ideas, right? But ideas that I live. It's a call to arms for anybody out there who knows that there's a way for them to contribute to this time. And not only that, this is their time. This is our time. During chaotic times, there needs to be somebody steady who is not a part of the chaos, who can see through the chaos and understand what's going on. It's like in those movies when there's a monster coming and you don't see the monster yet, you just see a horde of people running towards you. And instead of just running with them, with the chaos and just screaming and getting swept up in that emotion, it's up to us to stop and breathe and figure out what's going on and how do we contribute towards the solutions, right? That's what this world needs to be filled up with, more men like that. And we're primed. People like us are primed and ready to go, but we don't know about each other because we're not hanging out, and we will. That's what this is about. So the middleman concept is by dadaptation. I've been working on dadaptation here. It's kind of like when I have time. It's my passion because my day job is I help people break free from porn, and I work for this nonprofit. But for this stuff, I know there's more guys like me. And if it's you, leave a comment, reach out to me. Let's figure this out together, right? But the idea of being a middleman is like, I don't fit neatly into any category. And that's very inconvenient sometimes, but it allows me to be powerful because I don't consider myself a Republican or a Democrat. I don't consider myself anything other than a man who loves God. And even religion, I don't necessarily fit into any religion. That's contentious, right? I'm not that. I am first and foremost a man. I'm a son of God. I love my creator. And because of that, I love my family. And because of that, I'm able to love my family. And because of that, I can plug into endless ideas. And I can, when I'm down, I can get past whatever darkness is coming for me, right? So that group of people, the people who don't neatly fit into any camp, we're the silent majority, actually. There's more of us than you might believe. But we're not activated because we don't have we don't have a ready-made slogan for us to chant on the streets. We don't have an enemy because we're in the middle, and everybody has elements of good and bad, and we can actually help bring them closer together. We can be harbingers of peace in a time of absolute division and chaos, right? So I just want to get into some ideas. Follow me. Not on social media. I mean, let's go on a journey, okay? So the world is really shaky right now. There's endless noise, man. Holy moly. On the internet is basically just one shouting horde of people. Just like, hey, look at me, look at me, look at me. Don't look at him. I hate him. People throwing turds at each other all day. And then it's kind of like you could be walking down the street, you're having a great day, and then you watch two people just punching the crap out of each other, and it impacts you because you're like, what? Humanity's so much better than this. And all of a sudden that's what becomes your focus. And then you're like, oh, people shouldn't fight. Oh no, the world's falling apart. And you were doing fine until then. That's every time you turn on your phone, basically, and you go into social media, you just are blindsided by other people's junk rather than being focused. Okay. And a lot of this is blurred truth. What is true? If I were to say politics, what's true? Hard to tell. It used to be good guys, bad guys. And again, middlemen, you're not on one side or the other. You can see that the goodness, and there's good in all these people, and there's many bad players, but even them, they think somehow they're doing good, right? But it's messy. And the more that you go down these different rabbit holes, the more it's just what is true? And that's why you can't be beholden to the world defining truth for you. You have to figure out what is actually true. And on the home front, that's what your family's relying on you for, man. If you're watching these videos about conspiracy theories or whatever, what does that do to your spiritual state, to your mental state? It makes you really worried and agitated, and then you bring that to your family. You don't want that. Don't do that to your family, okay? So the problem is never actually out there. As much as we can point to many things in our society that are messed up, that we could say that's the reason why I'm so anxious. No, it's because we're letting those things dominate our minds rather than figuring out who we want to be and impact those. There's a great idea from 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, whatever that book is. I think that's the title. And it's all about like, you should only really invest emotionally and mentally into things that you can impact. Anything outside of that bubble, you should not worry about. And as much as you might think you care about the Middle East, can you do anything for that? Some people might, maybe you have some sway in some respect. But if not, then you need to really invest in what you can impact instead of siphoning this energy towards things that you have no business caring about. So what we've traded, being reflective is like a superpower, like learning from the past, processing your emotions. Instead of doing that, most people are just reacting all day, right? But not us. We take time to meditate. We take time to pray. We take time to think deeply. And that depth is also, when it's sacrificed, it's just distraction. And that's why, you could have a rough day, and so you take out your phone, and what's that for? It's for distraction. Does that make you feel more peaceful? No, it puts you into an agitated state. That's not us. We're people like us. We will always find time to be deep because we have to, because that's the only way we can stay sane. And virtue is like substance versus branding, which is like pretending to be certain. Like people like Gary Vee, even what's that guy? All these fitness guys. Oh, what's his name? Dave Goggins, right? I don't dislike him, whatever, but he's not a good father. He's admitted that. I've heard him. He's not a highly functional person. He just runs a lot and yells at himself a lot. Cool, that's very one-dimensional. Again, whatever, he's got his own demons. But for us, it's not about showing the world who we are. It's about being dedicated to being something that is clear in your mind, and you're willing to fight like crazy to become that more than anything, right? And living strength rather than just talking about it, right? Showing true strength is often way more still and less showy than you might understand. That's why women, this era, more women are showing us what womanly strength looks like. And it's not screaming and yelling. It's not warrior strength like we're used to. It's like if you have a wife and you've had kids, watching a woman give birth, that's the ultimate strength. It's unbelievable how focused they are. And we don't know this pain, right? Allegedly. I mean, I've broken some bones, but apparently that's nothing compared to giving birth. And I saw my wife laser focused, being like, this is what I want. This is who I am. And I'm like, all right. It's so strong. Amazing. So we need to find our own strength. And oftentimes, more often than not, I'd say it's a stillness when everybody chooses to be spazzes. So a call to substance. Look, let's not play around here. Like if you don't have substance, then you don't have beliefs. Whatever you truly actually believe is what you substantiate. So if you're like, I believe that I'm a millionaire, but then you got no money and you don't ever try, then what you really believe is that you're not worth the effort, right? And so your true beliefs do permeate over time, and they will reveal themselves to you if you let them, So it's not what you say, it's what you do that really shows what you believe. So steadiness in this shaky storm is unbelievably important. And that your words match your actions. That's basically integrity in its original form. If you say something, it's like fight like crazy in order to live up to that. Consistency is like, it's this underrated part of our life that we don't want to hear, We don't want to hear that to be healthy, it means like an everyday what you're eating and how much you're moving kind of thing. Are you stretching? We want a pill, the lazy people. But if you're a middleman, you're doing this stuff. This is just who you are. Fitness is not like a thing you strive for. It's just, I can't live without fitness because why would I, right? And we want to be something that our family can look up to and rely on. That's the greatest feeling in the world, is when our family just knows inherently that we will be there for them every time. It's from Interstellar. I think a lot of people, that movie breaks them. And I remember at the very end, I've seen it so many times that I cry deeply every single time. She asks him something like, why did you try so hard? Something like that. And he's like, because I said I would, right? Like I promised I would, so I did. And it's like that the love between father and daughter in that movie saved the entire universe. And I believe in that. I believe that that is the magic power of humanity, is our love between parent and child, between husband and wife. And that can create all that we seek as a human civilization. And without that, we will lose absolutely everything. So our character, our nature is forged through difficulty, through trial, through, setting big goals and reaching them. And also what we do when we don't reach them, how we get back up and try again. This is our character. And the middlemen, this thing that I know, if you're listening this far, it resonates with you. We are forged by an unrelenting desire to become men of virtue. And these men of virtue is what the world needs more than ever. Our politicians, for the most part, are weak and vain and fickle and will sell the world for a few bucks. We need more men of virtue who are unrelenting in their pursuit of truth, who would not sacrifice, their integrity for any amount of money, who would never sell out their soul for any amount of fame or sex or whatever, power, the basics. And when we're like that, it's like easy to say, oh yeah, these politicians are corrupt, but we have corruption within us. Let's get honest. But if we work that out, then we can be something that our family can rely on, our community can rely on, our society can rely on. And that's what we need desperately in this world. So to be men of substance, these are some virtues that I would fight tooth and claw for. Integrity, obviously, that just means that if you claim to be something, that you are that every time. And if you're not, it hurts you, it pains you so much that you have to come back to integrity, right? Presence is like being around your family. They need your presence so much. Your kids need to be valued. They need to have you look them in the eye and really listen to them. Otherwise, they don't feel loved. They don't feel cherished, right? And same with your wife. I know so many men, they've had a rough time of marriage because their wife maybe starts to wander, maybe starts to shop around, maybe even has an affair. And of course, that's never justified. But when you really look at our job as a husband is to love our wife more than anybody in the entire world. And when we fall short of that, we shouldn't expect that she's not going to need to get that somewhere. If she's healthy, she won't look elsewhere. She'll find it in God. She'll find it in, right? Or you'll work it out together. But we shouldn't rely on other people to be healthy. We should just do our job and love them unconditionally, right? Courage is to do the right thing all the time, to be calm under fear, to not be devoid of nervousness, right? But to live up to our expectations and do the hard thing, do the right thing. Adaptability, this is massive. That's why I'm calling it dadaptation, this thing that I'm building, because we have to be adaptable. Otherwise, we cannot keep up with our present day. Everything's changing so fast. And compassion, this is interesting, because a lot of people virtue signal compassion, but then they talk about how much they hate. Like the left right now in our world, they really virtue signal, but then they're the ones who are calling for the death of Trump and stuff. It's crazy, right? And so I can't get with that. But I also, there's the right is supposed to be Christian, and they're supposed to be really showing the way too. So that's why I can't really fall to either side, because I don't see those virtues of true compassion on either side.